Okay, so you think respect is something you earn by being good or by being reliable, by showing up when nobody else does. That's the lie they sold you. And by the time you figure out the truth, you'll have spent decades and decades being the most dependable man in every room and the most disrespected one, too. Let's be real. Everything you were taught about respect is backwards. Now, let me take you to the framework wherein I'm going to explain you the Dark Stoicism and how it can help you, right? So, here is what the Stoics understood that most men never will. Respect is not a reward for good behavior. Respect is a response to power, specifically the power you have over yourself. Epictetus was a slave. He had no money at all, no status, no freedom, and yet the most powerful men in Rome respected him. Why? Because he possessed the one thing they couldn't buy, the control he had over his own mind. That's what this video is about. 7 realizations about respect that hit you late but shouldn't have to. By the end of this video, you will never look at respect the same way again. So, the point number 1, respect is not earned through kindness, it's earned through boundaries. This is the very first thing men realize too late in their life. They believe that if they are kind enough, generous enough, patient enough, eventually people will respect them. But watch what exactly happened. The kinder you are without boundaries, the more people take you for granted. The more available you make yourself, the less valuable your time becomes, right? And that's where the philosopher Seneca wrote, he who is everywhere is nowhere. And he was talking about exactly this. The man who says yes to everything becomes invisible. Because availability without limit is not kindness, it's surrender. Think about it, guys. The people you respect most in your life, are they the ones who always said yes? Or are they the ones who made it clear that their time, their energy, and their presence had a price? That's not arrogance. That's called self respect. And self respect is one thing that commands respect from everyone else. Now, let's talk about point number 2. The people who disrespect you the most are the ones who benefit from your compliance. This one hurts because it's usually the people closest to you, your family, your friends, your partner, the ones who say you have changed when you start setting boundaries. But notice, they never said you have changed when you were breaking yourself to make them comfortable or to make them happy. That's not a coincidence, that's a system. The Stoics call this the dichotomy of control, understanding what is yours and what is not. Their reaction to your boundary is theirs. Your boundary is yours. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. He wasn't taking or talking about getting even. He was talking about refusing to participate in their system of control. When someone disrespects you, you stay silent, not out of strength, but out of fear. You are teaching them that disrespect has no cost, and that is the most expensive lesson you will ever teach. Now, since we talk about point number 1 and point number 2, I really want to bring your attention to point number 3, which is the most important one if you ask me. Now, let's talk about point number 3. Silence is not weakness, silence is the weapon that nobody can counter. This is the one that separates boys from men. When someone disrespects you, the instinct is to react, to argue, or to explain, or if nothing works out, to defend. But here's what the Stoics knew: Every explanation is a negotiation, and you don't negotiate with the people who have already decided you're beneath them. Epictetus said, if a person speaks ill of you, examine whether there is any truth in what they say. If there is, correct yourself. If there is not, laugh it off. Notice, he didn't say argue back. He didn't say prove them wrong. He didn't either said to fix yourself, right? I'm not sure if you've noticed. He didn't say argue. He didn't say prove them wrong. He said either fix yourself or dismiss them. That's it. When you respond to disrespect with silence, the real silence, right? Not the kind that's choking back anger, but the kind that comes from genuine indifference. You shift the power completely because now they are performing for you and you are not even watching at all. Now, let's jump into point number 4 quickly. Loyalty given freely is loyalty wasted. Most men give loyalty like it costs nothing. They are loyal to friends who don't call them, to jobs that don't value them, to relationships that drain them, and they call it commitment. The Stoics had a different word for it. They called it indifference, not to others, but to their own value. Seneca, who was a great philosopher, wrote, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it. And the greatest waste is loyalty invested in people who have already decided that you are not worth of theirs time. Here is the test. And be honest with yourself. If you stopped reaching out, would you ever hear from them again? If the answer is no, then your loyalty isn't building a relationship. It's maintaining an illusion. And the illusions are always expensive. Right? So far we talked about 4 major points. Now I'm going to talk about point number 5, which is respect follows the man who doesn't need it. This is the paradox that destroys most of the men. They chase respect. They perform for it. They compromise for it. And the more they chase it, the further it goes away or the further it moves. Because neediness is repellent in business, in relationships, in life. And that's where I remember one of the statement made by Marcus Aurelius, right? When he ruled the known world, he had the power of life and death over millions. And in his private journal, not meant for anyone else's eyes, he wrote to himself, it is ridiculous not to escape from one's own wickedness, which is possible, while trying to escape the wickedness of others, which is impossible. He wasn't worried about whether the Senate respect him. He was worried about whether he respected himself or not. That's the shift. When you stop needing external validation, when you become genuinely indifferent to whether people clap or criticize, something strange happens. They start respecting you, not because you earned it through effort, but because you stopped needing to. So remember, guys, respect doesn't come by begging for it. Now, let's quickly talk about point number 6. The man who forgives too quickly teaches people that hurting him is free. Let's be clear about something. Forgiveness is not weakness. The Stoics practiced forgiveness, but their forgiveness was strategic, not always emotional. They forgave because holding on to anger gives the offender permanent residence in your mind. You will be keep on thinking about them. But here is the distinction most men miss. Forgiveness and consequences are two different things. You can forgive someone and still never let them close to you again. You can forgive someone and still cut them off completely. The problem isn't forgiveness. The problem is forgiveness without boundaries. Again, you need to make sure that you set your boundaries even while you forget or forgive some of the acts of your nears, dears, or of the people, right? Now, when you forgive someone who hurt you and then act like nothing happened, you teach them just one thing. What is that? That your pain has no cost. And people who learn that lesson will repeat the lesson. And that's where Epictetus said, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. If someone thinks they can hurt you without consequence, they cannot be taught otherwise through forgiveness alone. They must experience the consequences. Right? Now, coming to point number 7, our last point of this particular video. The day you stop explaining yourself is the day you become untouchable. This is the final realization I want you guys to have. And it's the one that changes everything. Every time you explain yourself, you are trying to decrease your value in your own eyes as well as in their own eyes. Now, when you explain that why you made a decision, why you chose yourself, why you walked away, you are giving someone the authority to judge you. You are saying, in effect, I need you to understand me so that you can approve of me. The Stoics didn't explain themselves. Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor, didn't write meditations to justify his rule. He wrote it to clarify his own thinking for himself. Seneca didn't apologize for his wealth or his choices. He owned them. Epictetus didn't beg for freedom. He became free while still a slave. The moment you stop explaining, you take back the one thing everyone is trying to take from you, the final word on who you are. That's not arrogance, that's sovereignty. And sovereignty, real, unshake sovereignty over your own identity, is the most powerful form of respect there is available because it cannot be given, it cannot be taken. So, guys, 7 realizations, 7 things men learn too late or never learn them at all. But you don't have 30 years to waste figuring this out. The Stoics already did the work. Your job is simple: respond, not react. Set the boundaries, cut the illusion, walk away without explaining, and watch what happens. If any of this hit different, I want to hear about it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I read every single one. If you haven't already, subscribe the channel. This channel is not about average, it's about getting you out of the trap. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.